It's Friday, February 19th, and welcome to Tech Thoughts. Today we have some exciting gaming data points, some semiconductor reports, and also some tech news from the FANGs. But let's start with the general market. What's your feeling there, Inge?
After reporting season now, interest rates has been really the focus in the marketplace, and the long interest rates in the US, so the 10-year and the 30-year, has been trending up, and thereby pushing tech a little bit downwards. In terms of underperformance, we have seen underperformance really from the high value names, so the high growth, highly valued names, while FANG has been outperforming, which is really the opposite of what we saw last week when FANG was underperforming. So that's really what's happened in the market this week.
And we are down around 1.5% for the World Tech Index. And on the gaming side, we had some interesting data from Nintendo that is really strong, right?
Yeah, Nintendo numbers looks really good. I expect really, if you look at February, I think they've done the quarterly numbers already in February, both in terms of Switch sales and game sales. So the guidance the company has given is clearly too low, and they're beating that. And just to give you also, the MPD numbers came out last Friday after our Tech Thoughts, and showing US software sales up 36% year over year, as expected strong, because the tough comes first in March. That's when it gets more difficult after COVID lockdowns last year.
And in Europe, we have a new top player when it comes to market cap. It's not Ubisoft or CD Projekt anymore. It's the Swedish Embracer that reported this week. And they had this game that 3 developers did that sold over 3 million copies in less than a week, I think. But you are not so impressed by the numbers in this Q4 report, right, Inge?
No, I think comparing it like with Ubisoft or Take-Two, which is quite similar soon in market cap, I think these guys are much mature. They're much better in creating revenue inside the games, and so it's not just dependent on new releases. Embracer didn't have a new release in Q4, so numbers were not that great, even we had the best quarter ever. So it's not as mature. Looking at Valheim, which you said sold 3 million, but the pricing point is below 20 euros, so it's not a 70 euro AAA pricing. So it's like roughly selling 1 million of the AAA games in terms of top line and margins. But still, it's very good. But I rather play Ubisoft than Embracer, to be honest.
And when you mention pricing, it's pretty interesting there how the AAA games, at least on the consoles, are priced at $70. That's a lot of revenue for the big publishers.
Yeah, and the prices or the cost for bringing out the AAA games has increased over a number of years, and the price has been standing still. So this is really the first price increase we've seen for 3-4 years. On top of that, we're going more digital. On top of that, we're doing all this monetization inside the game. So good news on the margin side for the big guys.
And moving on to semiconductors, we had Applied Material reporting this week.
Yeah, it's really the bellwether of the industry. They are everywhere in the industry in semiconductor capital equipment. They are number one in terms of sales to the industry. They deliver on all the parts of the factory except the lithography, where you have ASML, and they are doing really well. And one thing I would like to highlight is the advanced packaging side, which is doing extremely well, growing 50%, and combining different materials in semis is the future to improve the performance of chips. So it's definitely really a good part of their business. One number I also want to highlight to give you everybody a little bit of sense of the industry is MediaTek, which is the number one past Qualcomm in terms of volumes when it comes to processors to mobile phones. And they reported January numbers now up 80% year over year. So very strong numbers driven by 5G phones, but also Chromebooks. Okay, let's put this in perspective though. 5% movement in the PC market is roughly 1 billion of wafer spend. 5% movement in mobile phone sales is roughly 500 million in wafer spend. So that's really the numbers we look at when we estimate wafer spending going forward. And it's growing around say 15% this year, but it could be even stronger given where we are in terms of digitalization and so on, and the shortage we've seen in many spaces.
And we have also had some interesting product updates from Facebook and Google and Twitter. But let's start talking about the hottest startup in Silicon Valley right now, the Clubhouse app, where you can create your own audio stream and have people and friends joining it. It's kind of interesting with this app because it's only on iPhone and you can't record, it's only live, but it's really taking off and spread virally. Both Facebook and Twitter are working and have launched betas of competitors to this platform, and it's going to be interesting to see if Facebook can go do the same as what they did with stories, where they were really quick on copying that feature from Snap. Also, this is taking some attention from podcasts, which is a kind of difficult thing for normal user to start recording and spreading. So this is probably a new type of audio distribution platform.
And you have experience, Johan. You were live yesterday.
Exactly. We tried it this week to a tech investor event, and it went really well, I must say. Also, we have Facebook that is rumored to launch a smartwatch based on Android operating system, and maybe they will launch it next year, according to rumors. And then we also have in the middle here a print screen of Google Maps new features that you can pay for parking and transits, starting in the US. And it's strange that they haven't been monetizing Google Maps more and earlier, I would say. To compare to the super apps in China, they are far behind both Meituan and WeChat when it comes to those kind of fintech monetizing features. What do you say there, Inge? Do you think we will see more and more Google Maps?
Absolutely, and I'm surprised as you are that we haven't seen more of that. And I think 5G will drive that even further. Look at when you're in the car, where's the next petrol station, restaurant, cinema, so on and so on. There's so many opportunities to evolve the business model of Google Maps.
And I think that's it for this week. And we're looking forward to see you all next week.
Thank you very much.